Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to Covestro's Arena at K 2022. Welcome everyone who's watching us online. Yes, thank you. There are various digital channels. Mobility is an important topic for the circular economy, and it is a very emotional topic, especially here in Germany, right? So what will the future of mobility look like? What kind of materials will we use for the future cars? What kind of energy sources? We now have on stage the exciting, the wonderful team of Team Sonnenwagen, who, together with Covestro, built a very innovative car to participate in a global challenge. So, and they will tell us all about it. Welcome, Anne, Lina, and Clemens. So good to have you guys. So please just introduce yourself. What do you do? And what is Team Sonnenwagen?
Okay, I will start. I'm Anne. I'm with Covestro since 5 years. I'm a lab head at our CA business entity. In my, let's say, daily life, I'm doing synthesis of polymers. And as a side project, I'm the project lead for the sponsorship project, Sonnenwagen.
All right.
Yeah.
Lina?
My name is Lina. I'm team manager of Sonnenwagen. I'm also a student at RWTH Aachen. And yeah, I lead the team to go to Australia in 2023.
Oh, wow.
My name is Clemens, and I'm also a student at RWTH University. I'm the head of marketing with Sonnenwagen Aachen. So my job is to kind of communicate to the world what we're doing and why we're doing what we're doing.
So let's find out. I mean, for those of you who don't speak German, Sonnenwagen means sun vehicle. It sort of suggests it's a vehicle that is powered by the sun. You have to explain it.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're doing is we're building a car that is entirely powered by solar energy. It has a solar array on top, and that energy gets us all the way 3,000 kilometers through Australia.
Wow.
Once through the outback, we're racing against other students, university teams, and as a competition to really push technology, get the most efficient technology on board, combine everything in an extremely light car and get it through Australia.
Cool. So this started as a project at the university. So how did Covestro come into the picture?
So we took up again the sponsorship project in July last year, but we were sponsored before. And the colleagues are just so enthusiastic and motivated about this project that we decided to take it up again and support the team Sonnenwagen in their next race season.
Yeah. So supporting means to just give them money, or do you give them expertise or the materials? I mean, you're a material supplier. Obviously, you know, electric mobility needs lightweight materials. Is that what it is?
It's all of it.
Okay.
Of course, we support financially, but also with our minds, with our expertise, with our materials. And I think it's a whole package that comes with us.
So tell us a little bit about the journey. So you started the project, and what were the obstacles that you had to overcome? How did it all start? And then, you know, tell us a little bit about the way that you had to go.
So we're founded in 2015. We're kind of just student friends that decided that we want to participate. So this race is really old. It's already from the 90s. And we wanted to take part of it. So then we tried to find people, a lot of master students from RWTH University at that time. And we came together and we wanted to do it. But I mean, in the beginning, you just know you want to build a solar car, but you have no clue how to do it. So you have to find the right people and just to get started and to try to find out what departments would you need, or what are the main difficulties with building a solar car. And I think these were like the first 2 years was just we want to build something, and that was the first solar car. And then in the second solar car, which was already then the Covestro Sonnenwagen, so the first solar car with Covestro together, we really improved a lot. And then we participated also in 2019 with that solar car and became 6th place of around 50 teams. So
wow.
Already really good in the second solar car. And right now we're developing our 4th solar car, which we will then take to Australia next year to race that race again.
So Lina, Clemens just said you had to find out what the difficulties were in building such a car. What were the difficulties?
everything.
Okay.
Nothing there is easy. We're building a car that you can't buy like that. Every single part that we have in that car is completely manufactured and developed by us. Nothing in it except some dampers and some braking system. Everything else is manufactured by us, developed by us, specifically made for us. So you can imagine that we really have to push every single detail to its limits in order to minimize the energy that we're using in order to get as far as possible, because that's how you win the race. And that's really a huge struggle, because you want to optimize everything. We don't accept mediocre. So I think that's really a struggle. If there's no struggle, it's very suspicious.
Something's wrong if it works right away.
Yeah, that's too easy. Cannot be right.
So you're saying everything is custom made, right? So how does it then connect to the topic of sustainability? And how can we take something that you did for the future of mobility and to become more sustainable, more circular?
So I think what we're trying to show with our cars is what we can actually do right now with technology. Because I think you can see electric cars, you can also see some kind of solar cars on the road right now, but they're by far not as efficient as a car can be right now. And I mean, if you look at our cars, they don't look like vehicles you can just normally drive on the road, which you can't, obviously. But what we're trying to show, and also for then future mobility and sustainable mobility, is how efficient we really can be. And for that, you have to push every component. And I mean, you can buy a motor, or we could buy a motor, but it wouldn't be as efficient as designing our own one. Or you can buy a battery, but if you build your own one and you know what exactly you need and what the challenges are for a solar car and how you can get it even more efficient by just a percentage or something, that's something that you can really see over the long run, and which really pushes us to just getting better and better and showing how far you can really come. I mean, just one battery in 3,000 kilometers, I think.
Wow.
That's something no other car can do.
So what's the secret sauce? I mean, no one's listening here. So
a lot of work and passion.
I think that electric mobility as we have it now is not thought far enough. I think that so far we have cars that used to be burner cars, and now you put a battery in, you call it e-mobility, and that's it. That's lazy. And we tend to not be lazy. As I said, if there's no struggle, then it's suspicious. And I think that we want to inspire. We're going all the way there. It's not a car that you are going to take your family on vacation with. I appreciate that. But if we can take parts of those ideas and meet in the middle and say, okay, hey, where can we become more efficient? And not just accept the cars as is, but move forward and think a little bit outside the box. That's what we want to achieve with the Covestro Photons.
So, Anna, let me ask you, what's in it for Covestro? I mean, when we talk about electric mobility, we have a few solutions here at the booth when it comes to the interior, new designs that inspire new materials, etc. But then again, we look at electric cars these days, they're even heavier than cars with internal combustion engines. So what's in it for Covestro if you do a project like this?
Of course, we can show that our materials that we make in-house are or can be used in extreme conditions. They are lightweight, they are highly efficient. So if our materials will be part of the Sonnenwagen, of the solar car, we can show that they're efficient and can resist extreme conditions such as we have it in the race in Australia.
What kind of materials are used from your side?
So in the, I think in the second one, it was the coating that was from the Sonnenwagen, and for the new one, we are looking into what kind of materials can we use, what kind of coatings can we use foams, can we use composites, can we use coatings for the solar cells? So we are looking into that. Yeah.
It's fascinating because I don't know if you have seen it, the car is actually on display right outside this hall. There's a little container and you can see the Sonnenwagen. And I was surprised how small it actually is because, you see the film and it looks pretty big and then you see, how can a human being fit into that car? Who's driving it? Are you guys driving it?
No. We're both
a smaller
too tall.
person.
Yes, exactly.
You hired a child.
No.
Would I fit in?
Yes.
Okay.
So from the regulations, you get a lot what is allowed, and we need a minimum weight of 80 kilograms, and then we normally have drivers that are even less heavy, and then we just get sandbags to weight until 80 kilograms. And the drivers are always very small, so they can fit in. I would be too tall to fit in, so yeah.
And for how long do they have to sit in that car?
Always 2 hours, and then they have to change.
3.
3 hours?
3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 hours. But still, I mean, in the Australian desert, it really is not about comfort. So
By heat, yeah.
yes, it's really hot.
I can imagine. So, what were the challenges that you had to face along the journey? I mean, convincing a partner like Covestro, or convincing other partners, or within the team. I mean, we talk so much here about collaboration and joint solutions, that no one can do it alone. We have to come together. What was the team's spirit along that journey? What were the challenges that you had to face?
I think one of the biggest challenges is that, of course, students graduate. So we have a team every 2 years. This is something that probably a company doesn't work with, that you just change your entire personnel, HR, with every 2 years. So that's a big struggle to pass on that knowledge. I think there's something that really we count on the alumni to stay on and explain everything to the new team and actually push that knowledge further. And we've done that since 2015, and I think we are collecting the fruits of that now. We recently won, but it took us 7 years to get the car, or get the cars to the possibility of, pushing it to the first place. And I think that was, the persistence that requires. It takes hours, night shifts, manufacturing these cars, and if the reward is, very far out, you're working on it for 2 years.
You're not getting paid for it.
And no, we don't.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, I mean, with you sort of being the next generation, what is mobility, or what should mobility look like for you in the future? What do you hope for companies like Covestro to do in the future, maybe together with car manufacturers?
So I think the biggest problem is also something we already said. It's you have to rethink the entire concept, because you can't just say this is a car, we changed something about it, and it's still the car and how it should be in 50 years, because cars don't have to look that big and be that huge and be that heavy. I mean, our car is like 160 kilograms, is the entire car with the battery inside. And I think that's something I think what is the most important point for big companies is to really rethink systems and not try to just exchange one component, because that won't change the system of how we can live efficient in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's what we are living in a small, right? If you see the car outside, it looks nothing like a car. People come to us as like a UFO or a ship, or what is that? Yeah. Can it fly? Yeah. And I think that's where you want to get, right? You want to get people thinking, like, okay, like, what does a car need to look like in the future? Mm-hmm. And it needs to look nothing like the cars we're used to. These are design choices. For example, a lot of people come up to us and like, oh, hey, when are we going to get solar cells on top of cars? And it's like, hold up. First, cover your wheels with covers, because that reduces your aerodynamic drag significantly, increasing the reach tremendously. And then you don't need to worry about solar cells so far, because that will get you so much further. And why aren't wheels covered? Simply because we're not used to it. Because cars have never covered the wheels, and why should you? So I think that also these choices that are just out of convenience need to change. So we want to enjoy mobility, and I think it would be. We saw all in Corona how horrible it is not to be able to move, and I think that will continue. And I'm for mobility. You want to move, but you need to think the way that you are moving and make it more efficient, because it was just not thought through this entire time, really.
Mm-hmm. It's quite interesting. So, Anna, how can Covestro be part of this effort? Can Covestro, as a company, help push the automobile industry to, tell them, well, we have the lighter materials, or, why don't you do this or that?
Mm-hmm. I definitely think so. And as Lina said, I think it's a lot of thinking outside of the box. We have materials as they are now, but we have to rethink them. We have to think, how can we make them better, even more efficient, circular, sustainable? How can we rethink the materials that we have and that we use? And I think that's a step in the right direction.
All right. So at this point, I want to ask the audience if we have any questions for our wonderful team Sonnenwagen or Covestro when it comes to this project, this cooperation. Any questions for you guys? Any questions from our online audience? This is the time to put them in, and then we'll see them here on the monitor. So I'll give you a few more minutes to think about it. what are the next steps now for you guys? I mean, you said you're always changing the team. There's a new team. There's a new generation of car. Are you building a new car from scratch then?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened to the old one? Did you have like a museum, like a gallery where they go? Or do you take them home?
No, actually, we're using them for testing because they're quite useful, right? You have them standing around, and then you have a new ID for your powertrain, for example, and then you plug in the entire powertrain into the old car. That makes it sound very easy. It's much more complex than that.
Just plug it.
Yeah, just put it in there, and then you use them for that. Or we bring them to the K Fair and show people, because there's very little use for them to be standing inside our workshop. We want to show people the car, so that, yeah, as I said, people get...
Oh, my kids would love it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly.
So now you're in preparation for 2023?
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, we have a season of 2 years, so we're developing a new car since around 1 year already, like in CAD, just digitally, and in around a month we will start manufacturing it. So then we will build the car with ourselves, with our with a team, with 50 people. We have workshop shifts, and we start building it. And next summer we will present it to the world, and then it's a lot of testing for like 2 months or something. Then we're going to Australia, testing some more, and then we're going to race the car there. So it's really into building the car right now. It's almost done, so we know how it should look and how it will look, and now it's into really building it and not just having it digitally.
That requires a lot of coffee.
Yes. Exactly.
I can imagine. And the same is true for Covestro. Do you, like internally, do you have, I mean, you said you're a lab rat, so do you then go to the lab and say, oh, we have to make it even lighter, even more durable or more sustainable? Or
So we definitely think about what kind of our materials can we use that are either commercially available already, or we have it on the shelf from a running project, and we think about how can we support the team, how can they use our materials in the new car, and I'm quite excited already how it will look like.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sure,
I know,
yes.
but
Can we follow the progress on social media anywhere?
Yes, definitely. So we have an Instagram account, of course, where we just post and try to show all the time what we're doing. For example, also being here. And then we have YouTube channel where we have vlogs. So every month we try to show in a short vlog what we're doing. So we're going to describe also how we how we build a solar car. So this is really interesting to really just get an insight, because I mean we have a model and then we have a car, but there's a lot happening in the middle. And then of course we have LinkedIn, where we also show what we're doing and try to communicate with the world.
Cool, very cool. So let me ask you again, any questions from the audience for Team Sonnenwagen? We have a question coming in from LinkedIn. So, the question is, are you considering nanotechnology-based materials? Who wants to answer that?
that is a super specific question.
It is very specific.
Not as of now, but
Yet?
if this is something that you think that fits, we're super happy. Please shoot us a message. We're always super happy if technology that we don't know of gets introduced. We're doing an enormous amount of research with the university, with Covestro. But of course, we can't possibly know everything that is going on. So if you think that nanotechnology-based materials could be something that would suit us, then please send a message, send an email. We are really happy to consider it.
Anne, yeah?
Yes, fully agree. I mean, you can think of a lot of different materials, and why not using nanotechnology when it fits for your car, of course.
All right, okay. Any more questions? Yes, we do have a question. We get this fine gentleman a microphone.
Nice to listen. Wonderful. I wonder, your HR cycle is 2 years. How you engage in university to get the students, and are they only from RWTH or are they from other universities? Do you collaborate?
So we're all students from RWTH and FH in Aachen, so the biggest 2 universities of Aachen. And it is difficult to get them to know us. So, I mean, right now the new semester also started, so we're a lot into just going into different lectures and just presenting what we're doing and that we exist, because it's always hard to just be there, and you always have to try to engage with them directly. But you also have to say, I mean, when we're doing races, we're doing takeovers from the university Instagram account. So we're always trying, the marketing department is always trying to just get as many different possible ways to meet people, because not everybody knows us, of course, but we're working on that.
Well, you're quite successful at it. I think we've gotten enough applications this year. So
Yeah, maybe don't start with telling them about the night shifts. Okay.
well, I think that's part of the fun, to be honest. I think
Yes, it is.
part of it's not great continuously. You want to avoid them, but sometimes you're in the flow, and then it's great.
Yeah.
And it's actually great that we have a woman and a man on stage. So let me ask about the team, because we just had a diversity panel. I mean, are there a lot of and again from Covestro, a female scientist. So are there a lot of women in that?
No.
Car racing comes to mind. So you think there's a lot of men?
Yes, there is. It's
Okay.
very unfortunate. Please, if you're a woman and you want to join,
Yes, good call to action. Get more women into that.
it's cool. I promise.
It's cool.
No, yeah, it's. I mean, me and Tina, who's over there, are actually the team lead. So we have a double woman team lead, and then 3-4 more women. Of course, you see you see how many more men are studying engineering than women. And I think it needs to start there. Study engineering as a woman. It's also great. It's very cool. Do it and join. Yeah, because we don't have enough women.
Well, and the sciences, chemistry is cool too, right? Anna?
Of course, yeah.
Sorry.
So good. Of course, yeah. I think for Covestro, we have a lot of female scientists, so I think that's pretty cool already. But as Nina said, there are many more engineering, chemists, whatever, mechanics. Yeah.
All right, very good. So, do we have any more questions? We have a few minutes left. This is your chance. Sometimes it can be intimidating, I know, to ask a question into a microphone when we have people on stage. So we talked about the next steps, right? I mean, this is potentially a project that could go on indefinitely, right? There will be generation after generation after generation. But are there any plans on your side or on Covestro's side to, implement some of this technology maybe into a real-world application? Are there any talks with the automobile industry on your side or your side, so that maybe it's someday they have integrated something into a future car?
So we're a student team. We're still a student race team. So our goal is to build a solar car, which is the best we can possibly do, and then race this car and win the race, of course. But we can see we had talks with technical companies and also motor companies that just ask us questions. So also partners of us just wanted to know stuff from us, how to do different things. Because I mean, looking into solar technologies with cars is something a lot of companies do right now, and we have more experience with that than a lot of companies, so they ask us questions. This is an effect we have with different teams. And what you can also see from the races, from people that have been at these races in the 90s, they are now like heads of Tesla or something. You can really see that this technology is coming, but I mean, it always takes a long time from a project like this to going into manufacturing this big scale.
I think that's the luxury we have as well, right? We're able to get the rules and then have 2 years' time and get a car on the road. That's something like a manufacturer can only dream of. Impossible. Of course, they're having different kinds of struggles than we do, but we can move it very, very fast and challenging in that way. For example, we work together with Mercedes as well as a company, and they recently invited us to Stuttgart, and we had an exchange there, and they asked us questions as much as we asked them questions. So it just goes to show that there is movement, there is interest, and we just show them that, okay, let's get this party started, and see where you can push it.
Yeah. Have you been in touch with companies like Sonos? They're also building a solar-powered car.
Not Sonos, but for example, Lightyear, which is a company from the Netherlands.
Yes.
And they are actually, like the people that founded it are from solar racing teams. So they're from exactly what we do. They're people from our teams, like alumni, working at this team now.
They have a car coming out shortly.
Yes, they already have a car, and they have the next car coming out in, I don't know, some month. And those are from solar racing teams from Belgium and Netherlands and Germany and from all around the world. So we met them, we've been there, we've been in the production hall and saw the cars. So that's really interesting what they're doing, and they really know what they're doing. So
amazing.
Yeah. They're building solar cars and get paid for it.
And it's a business model, successful one at that. So Anne, you work with the automotive industry, in several areas. So do you have any learnings from that project that you can apply to your daily business and real life business models?
Yeah, definitely. As I said in the beginning, we're testing materials under very extreme conditions, and your feedback is so valuable for us, making our materials even better. How does it behave under heat and under sunlight? So this is something we take, and we can improve our materials with your feedback. Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you, final question. What is your advice to either future founders or students that want to participate in challenges like that? Yes, it's a lot of hard work. You say it's a lot of fun too. What's your advice? Just get started. If you have an idea, go for it.
Yes, I think it would be just start with what you want to do, and then it is like we said, you really have to look at each component and think why is it like this? Why can't it be different? And if you start with questioning how it has to be, you get to different solutions, and you really get into thinking about new technologies and new ways of maybe also just using old technologies. And this is really where it comes together. If you connect different things and then on top of that develop something new where you see there is something missing. Because if you don't ask questions why you do everything, you will never find what you actually might need to get something better. So this is something you really have to do.
Very well put. Yeah. Lina.
Learn how to make good coffee. You need a lot of time. No, it's so important. I think as a student, I think Sonnenwagen really pushed me through university, and it applies to pretty much every single team member. It's so important getting that practical experience in, getting to know how the real world works, because it's very different from university at times. And at the same time, apply that university knowledge, make use of the research centers that you have in the university. They're valuable assets that you might not appreciate all the time as a student. Take that time and get going as well, and find yourself some cool team members. That's essential.
I can imagine. Anna, what would your advice be?
Exactly the last thing that Lina said. Have a great team. Search for like-minded people that challenge you and that push you forward. Yeah, I think that's a very, very important part.
Yes.
And it seems to me that you found the like-minded people. It seems like you had a lot of fun. Yes, a lot of hardship, hard work. But then again, in the end, it's all worth it when you then can enjoy the fruits of that labor.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming here, sharing your experiences. If you want to see the car, again, it's right outside this hall. And then we'll also show the film there so you can see the whole driving on the track, the car they're driving on the track in Australia. And maybe you'll stay for another few minutes, so if you want to talk to them, take the chance to now learn about their experiences, and maybe you can share some knowledge, some inside knowledge that you couldn't share on stage. All right, thank you for coming, Lina, Anne, and Clemens, and this is your applause.
Thank you.